Hey y'all, Jordan from Carolinasewnvacraleigh in Raleigh, North Carolina here, and today I'm going to show you a few of Baby Lock's starter sewing machines, specifically the Zest, the Joy, the Zeal, and the Jubilant right here. I'm going to show you how to thread them, how to wind a bobbin, how to get ready to sew on them so you can hear what they sound like and see the stitch quality of them. If there's one in particular that you're looking at buying, I'm going to put a little chapters down at the bottom so you can skip to whichever one you like. If you see one you like, I'm also going to put links down in the bio part so you can click on them, go to our website, and check out and have it shipped to your door. So I'm going to start with the Zest. This machine comes in at about $170, which is a great price range for somebody who's not sure if they're going to enjoy sewing or if you're shopping for a kid. But the user friendliness and quality is just as all the Baby Lock quality is. So I'm going to show you how to wind a bobbin and show you some threading on here. So we'll start with winding a bobbin. You just need a spool of thread and empty bobbin. And this right here is your tension for your winder. So what you want to do is bring this thread around and catch it and make a figure 8 pattern, just like that. And then you can pull your excess. The way I like to do bobbins as opposed to wrapping them is these bobbins have a hole. So from the inside out, basically, I'll lead the thread up through the hole, hold it like this, and then I mount it on that winder like that. And on this machine right here, the hand wheel has its bobbin winder lockout, so you pull it out and that'll make it so the needle doesn't go up and down while you're trying to wind your bobbin. So I continue to hold my hand right here with some good pressure and start out slow. Make sure you push this over. That was my bad. And it'll start to slowly rotate, still holding this. And then once it gets a few wraps, I would ideally take some scissors, but I don't have any next to me, so you can break your thread off there, and then you can finish this out. And once it's full, or you have as much thread on there as you want, you can remove that, take your scissors, and clip this. Now that we've got our bobbin wound, what you want to do is you want to make sure your thread's coming off the top or counterclockwise, and take your bobbin case and set the bobbin inside of it. And on this kind of bobbin case, it has a little slit in it. And all you have to do is drag your thread around that slit. It'll fall right into place and snap into tension. I give it a little pull just to make sure I actually have tension on it, and as long as it does, you're good to go. And now what you want to do is line the hole in your bobbin up with the post inside of this race hook, and then line up to the indention, and it'll click right into place. We can close that door. Now we can thread the top. So what you got to do here, and there is a diagram, I'm going to do this as best I can, but pull your thread and you're going to catch around this silver post right here, bring it down, and right there's a number 2 that's showing you to go up top here. And once you get up here, if you don't see your take up, take your hand and rotate it towards you until this silver take up arm comes up, and you can come back to front. It'll catch right there and continue down here. And now here is a little thread guide that pretty much every machine is going to have, and you just need to catch around there. If the needle's not up all the way, you can still adjust that. This model does not have a needle threader, so you got to do it the old-fashioned way. You can drop your foot and make it a little easier. No good way to show you this, but you just got to thread the eye of the needle like so. And it's a manual machine, so we do got to pull our bottom up. So while you're holding your top thread, you just need to rotate the hand wheel always towards you and keep pulling it gently. If it doesn't catch the first time, it's going to get it on this cycle right here, and then it pulls up a little loop. That's your bobbin, and you pull that up, and you should have 2 threads, which you can lead underneath the foot and out the back. Now I got a piece of material here, and so you can kind of hear, and I'll show you how to change your stitches. It has a few different stitches to choose from. A is like a center line straight stitch, so I'll let you see what that looks like. And if you want to adjust your length, it's right here labeled length. 2.5 is fairly standard, but if you wanted to go longer or shorter, you have all that adjustment. If you wanted to do a zigzag on this one, you look on your diagram, it shows you it's letter C. And letter C has these little narrow to wide tick marks. That's adjusting the width of the zigzag. So you can kind of put on like that 80% mark and see what that looks like. And you can lift your foot to relieve the tension, pull this, take your scissors, and cut it right there. All right, now for the Joy. This is the next step up. This one's gonna run about that 250 mark, and what you're gonna gain from going from the Zest to the Joy is a drop-in bobbin, which is it's gonna be a little more smooth and a little easier to change your bobbins out. And you also get width control for all your stitches. So that way you can actually move your needle all the way from the left to all the way to the right. Any of the wider stitches, like your blind hem or your zigzags, you can control the width on those now. So to wind a bobbin, again, you're going to need some thread and an empty bobbin. And it's set up basically the same way, minus this is on a horizontal spool pin. It's got a little diagram here for you. What you're going to do is you're going to wrap the thread around this silver guide, and then you're going to catch it in your tension right here. So you come around the back to catch in that silver piece. I know it's hard to see, but I'm doing the best I can. And then you're going to catch into that tension disc right there. And then you're good to go. Same way with the bobbins. It's got a hole on it. Go the inside out, like so. And then you can mount that there and push it over. This one also has a built-in lockout, so when you push this over, your needle's not going to keep going up and down, and you don't have to mess with your hand wheel to push it in or out or anything like that. And once again, just like the Zest, I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure on here, let it make a few turns, come over here and clip it, and then I'll let it finish out. Now that you got your bobbin ready, you can install your bobbin here. Counterclockwise, just like the Zest, this little black button right here, you just push that from left to right and it'll pop your cover off. Then what you're going to want to do is just drop your bobbin in. And usually I'll use my other hand that's not holding the machine up to just push on it so it doesn't spin too much, but this is more of a demo. There's a little arrow in here, and what you want to do is just aim your thread for that arrow, and it's going to fall right into the tension, and then you pull it all the way back here, and you're good to go. Now you can take this and put that on, and for the top thread, it's just as easy as before. You put that on there, come around that metal guide there, number 1. Now you come straight through and follow that line to number 2, telling you to go back up there. And then here's that metal take up that we want to catch back to front. And then down here, got a needle thread guide. Catch that. This one does actually have a little bit of an assisted needle threader. The way it works is you have to catch your thread on a little post right there, and the wire is going to go through the eye of the needle. So from the bottom, you're going to let it catch that wire, and it'll pull through and give you a little loop, and you can pull that through. And now while holding that, you're going to rotate the hand wheel towards you and let it catch that bottom. The bobbin will loop up. You can catch that and pull it over. and then run your threads out the back. This one also has a little cutter on the side, so you can drag your thread, cut your excess. All right, we've got a little diagram here. A is your center line straight stitch, and you can set your length to about 2.5. And then on your width control, it actually shows you if you push it all the way to 0, your needle's all the way to the left. And you push it all the way to 5, it's dead center. I'll sew this for you. Then if you want to do a zigzag, it's C, and you can adjust your width there. Now you can do a zigzag. I usually always leave the machines on zigzag, and then if I want to do a straight stitch, I can set my width to 0, and it'll do a quick left align straight stitch right there. Lift your foot, raise the take up like that, and then we can trim it on the edge, and just like that, there's the back, there's the front. Makes a really nice stitch. Now we're in front of the Baby Lock Zeal. This is definitely our most popular manual machine. It's a pretty good workhorse. This one can really chug through some denim. I know people who sew umbrella with it, with some pretty good luck with the right needle, of course. So this one definitely has more capabilities for sewing through some thickness. It also upgrades you to a one-step buttonhole, which if you're planning on doing like any home deck sewing or garment sewing, and you plan on doing a lot of buttonholes, that's the way to go, where the Joy and the Zest both have 4 steps, so it's just a little more effort and a little more time. So to wind a bobbin on this one, need our thread, load that on the spool pin. Still got diagrams over here. There's a little arrow, and what you're going to do is your tension is right there, and just do another little figure 8 like so, and you're good there. Bobbins still have that hole in them, so inside out, catch your thread. Now you can pop that on your winder and move it over. And then on the hand wheel on this one, you do still have a lockout, so you got to pull that lock out so your needle doesn't move up and down. And once you get that, you can hold your top, the hand wheel, or the foot pedal, let it go a few stitches, trim the top, and then you can let it finish out. Now that we've got our bobbin wound, we can push our lock out, and to put your bobbin in, it's a lot like the Joy. It has a little black button that you push from left to right. It pops up cover. The bobbin's going to come off counterclockwise. Set it in the bobbin case, and there's a little arrow right here that I just got to aim that thread at, and then it'll catch right there. If that bobbin's bouncing, that's typically why I like to hold it with the hand right here. But catch it right there. Now you just need to take your cover, clip that in place, and to thread it, just put your spool into thread pin there, take your thread, and there's an arrow showing you to come around this way, around there. Now just like any machine, you come down, and number 2 is telling you to go back up. We don't see a take up, so rotate this towards you until you see it pop up there, and then you can come right here back to front, and it'll catch there, and now straight down towards your needle. Go around the thread guide, and this has a similar threader to the Joy, So what you do again is just catch this little notch on it. The wire comes through and come through the bottom, and it'll catch that. It is a little tricky, but after you've done it a few times, it kind of becomes muscle memory. And then hold your thread, rotate your hand wheel towards you, and it'll catch your bobbin. Shows you that loop, and you can pull it right up. Put your threads out the back. And you're ready to sew. So now we can do, it does have a few more stitches than both the previous models, but they work the same way. A is a center straight stitch. You can adjust your length right there if you want to. If you want to go to a zigzag, it's C. And up here is how you adjust your width. And then it's got a little cutter on the side. You can trim your thread, and just like that. And since I mentioned it, I got 4 layers of denim right here, which will kind of show you what it would be like to roll over the fold of jeans if you were hemming them. If you are doing this, I would recommend going to a larger denim needle. This is just what came in. It's probably Universal 8012 or something like that. And just sew it a little bit slower. But it feeds it super even. I don't have to do a whole lot. If anything, and just like that, does just as good a stitch. So yeah, all in all, this is a great machine. This one's gonna run about $350, which is still a really good price for the machine you're getting. It's definitely a workhorse. Now we're in front of the Jubilant. This is an awesome machine. We sell a ton of these. This is the start to the computerized line. This one's typically gonna run you about $599. This has a ton of features. Now you're computerized, you have an automatic needle, up down button. You have what I call a true needle threader, which I'll show you how to work that. Speed control, and a whole lot more stitches, decorative, quilting, utility stitches, turn of a dial, and it actually will readjust everything for you. So if you set this to a zigzag, it is automatically set your length and width to the standard zigzag stitch. It's got an automatic bobbin, so you don't have to manually pull it up. So get right back into this. I'll show you how to wind a bobbin. Load your thread on here. We still got a cool little diagram, and just follow along with it. What you do is, step 1 is just catch this little silver clip right there. Then you come around the number 2, just like it shows you right in there. And then to work your winder tension, there's a little arm to go in front of while you pull it behind the tension. And then you can pull that, and you should feel some tension on there. Bobbins, all the same, little hole in the top. Go bottom to top, grab your thread, pull it just like that. And you can wrap it on, like a lot of places in manual probably shows you. I just think it looks a little messy, and once you get down to that last bit of the bobbin, this always tends to sew a little bit better. So you push that over, hold your thread, and get on your foot control. You can adjust your speed like this if you want to, however you like to do that. And then I've lost my scissors, but you're going to trim that just like on the other ones, and then continue on. When you're satisfied with how much thread's on there, or you're done, you push your winder over, remove your bobbin, and this gray winder mount has little blades in it, so you can drag your thread into that cut and it'll trim it for you, which is pretty cool. To work the bobbin, this little cover, left to right, it pops right off. Going counterclockwise, just going to set the bobbin in there, and you follow this little arrow right here. It's actually molded and cut out, so you can follow that. And there is a blade in here to cut your excess, but I like to put this on first. Sometimes if you cut it first, it'll kind of rubber band back in there and come out of tension. So that can save you a headache later. And as far as the threading, the 2 steps are still the same. So we come and clip it in that silver piece, come around the white arm right here, and then come straight down. And now it's number 3. Go up, come around that take up, which you can see through this little window, and come down. You can lower your foot to add some tension. And number 6 is your thread guide. Catch it on there. And your threader is cool. It has this little silver notch in it, and that's where your thread is going to rest. And then there's a number 7, and you're going to put your thread right above number 7, and you'll get a little audible click. I don't know if you'll hear in the video. Right there. And then you can trim your excess right there. And now all you got to do is push this lever down with some force and let it off, and it threads your needle for you. To operate any needle threader, your needle needs to be all the way up. So if you're unsure, if you have a habit of touching your hand wheel, all you have to do is press your needle button until it goes all the way up, and then you know you're good to go. So then, like I said, this is automatic, so we don't have to actually physically pull it up. So I just take this one top thread and feed it out the back, and the thread will automatically pull up. You can adjust this to a more comfortable speed as you're sewing. You turn this dial and you can do all kinds of different stitches. It has a bunch of different buttonhole designs if you're doing some decorative stuff, stars, hearts, some satin stitches, trees, a lot of cool stuff that you can play around with. And for the straight stitch, just like that. Stops with the needle down so you can hit your button to raise it, raise your foot, and cut it off. And this stitch right here. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about these machines, feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email, or anything like that. Like I said, I'm going to put links to all these machines down in the description box, so that way if you saw one you really liked, you can just hit that link and purchase it and have it shipped right to your door. If you want to see any comparison videos like this on any of the other Baby Lock machine line, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to do it. Other than that, I'll see y'all next time.